Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here, and these two layouts that you're seeing are my inspiration for today's Scrap Squad Sunday. This one on the left is the original, and the artist is Birgit Koopson, and she did it for Scrap the Boys, and it's adorable. And Rebecca Meadows, who is one of my favorite scrapbookers in the history of scrapbookers, because she has a style that is both colorful and interesting and simple and clean. She's just amazing. Anyway, she did this version, and of course I'm gonna like this one because it's got the polka dots and the mix of colors. This one is gorgeous, and of course the design is the same. So I started thinking about the fact that this would be good for scraps, and you all know that I love the look of stitching, but I don't do stitching. It's just something that I just don't do often. And triangles are something else. I don't do them because I just don't like them. They don't hit my eyes right, or when my eyes see them, it sends wonky messages to my brain. It's just not something that looks pleasing to me. I love the colors and I love the kind of overall design, the kind of patchwork quilt sort of a look. But the idea that those are triangles. So yeah, I understand they're squares that you just cut in half, and I'm going to stop talking about this in a minute. I started thinking about what scraps do I have that I can use, and I'm kind of into using scraps. It's what I do every time there's a summer challenge at Mind the Scrap. So it seems appropriate. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to tell you that I decided to pull out my bag of Vicky Bouton scraps, and I literally just kind of pulled the bag out and started pulling pieces usually pieces that were kind of small-ish, and I cut 2x2 squares. And I just kind of cut 2x2 squares until I was done with the pieces that looked like they were the right size. So I'm going to put this bag away, and you'll see kind of where I ended up. And I didn't want to put you through the agony of watching me cut the 2x2 squares and then cut them in half and then kind of mix them up on my table. I have, of the ones I cut, I have these left over, and I have another set of big triangles that I'm going to put these with, but we'll see if I maybe need some. I have an idea for something up here. In both of the originals, they used this something right up here that was kind of an arrow pointing down into the field. And I've got a thing here that says Boys Rule, but it's square. And I could put it there, but it doesn't have that arrow pointing effect. So I had this idea that maybe I could do something like that, kind of put it on there like that, and then cut these ends off. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let me kind of get that. And is this the color that I want to use, or do I want to use purple or lime green? I kind of like this floral with that. Okay, let's go with that. And I'm just gonna put, and this is kind of goofy to try so much to for such a small element of the design. I'm going to try cutting it off so that there's still a little bit of, yeah, I like that. Let me get some tape. And what I did was I just kind of threw them all in a pile, and I kind of pulled and tried not to get colors too close to each other. And if I'd really thought about it, I'd have put this one going that way and this one going that way, because this one, you know, kind of mirrors that. But I decided not to overthink it, and so I kind of left it as it was. And the photos I'm going to use, and I'm using two, are of my grandson Barrett, whom we call B, and he loves it when I put a bumblebee on pages that are about him, especially from when he was a kid, but he also kind of likes it. I'm gonna have it pointing directly straight into that, and the reason I like this is because it's the angle of it, since it was cut from one of these triangles, the angle is exactly the same as that, so it's going to kind of fit right into there. And just see right there, isn't that kind of cute? So another thing I have done, I've gathered a whole slew. I've got some bramble fox stars. I've got a bunch of quote-unquote boy ephemera and chipboard and stickers. I've got a boys rule sticker sheet. I like this 100% boy label right there, so I'll probably use that. I have a set from the June release of Dottie About Flair that's called Be Kind. So it's got all kinds of bee themed and honeycomb themed flares. So we will be dipping into that, I'm sure. Okay, so I've got this. I'm going to kind of lay it right here. Let's put the photos on kind of first, because I want to be careful. I'm going to put the photos like they did in the original in a diamond shape. And the diamond, what kind of hit me was these are squares cut into triangles, but placed on the page in a diamond shape. So that diamond shape immediately made me think of baseball, and this photo had come up in my memories from, I want to say, 11 years ago, and Barrett would have been, almost 17. He'd have been, almost 6, and he got out there, and I have a little bit of journaling that I typed up that says, B knocked it out of the park. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So let me cut that out. When I print my photos, I print them on 8.5 by 11, and when I have empty spaces is where I type my journaling. And so that's what I did here. And 9 times out of 10, if I don't, I want to say 9 times out of 10, occasionally I will get to the point where I've completed a layout and I get ready to write some journaling, and the same words that I already typed come into my head, and then I go, well, gosh, didn't I already write that? And I have to go looking for it. But I have actually forgotten it and found the journaling later and thought, oh, okay, I didn't even put this on the page. So what I'm doing right now is distressing this. Because it's bright white, it would have a tendency to look, I hadn't glued those down, look maybe a little too, I don't want to, what's the word, clean maybe. And I'm going to take this. This has been dipped into some ink, and it looks like it was dipped into a yellow ink, which is fine for this because that goes along with the bee color, and I love that star paper. I should have used more of that. But anyway, so I'll do that. Let me put this back. I don't think I'm going to need my trimmer for anything else. I'm not using any more paper, and I've done all the cutting that anyone should need to do on a Saturday morning. So I'm going to put this aside if I can find room on the table. Okay, and I will tell you, fun find of the day. When I went through that big bag of Vicki Boutin scraps, I found a whole handful of ephemera, including this piece right here, which I really love, and which I'm going to try to work into here somehow. Floral ephemera is one of the rules for this week's summer challenge, so I'm going to go big or go home. Okay, so speaking of that, maybe I would want it here, and maybe this one kind of coming out of it like that, and this one maybe overlapping that one like so. Not sure. Something just occurred to me. I wanted to, in the original, and I guess it looks like Rebecca may have just inked the edges of all of her papers, which if I'd thought about it, might have been a good thing to do. But on this one, it looks like she outlined her papers maybe sometimes on the paper, but sometimes on the triangle. But I thought I would do it on the paper around the triangles, just kind of in a doodling fashion, but with a white pen, because a white pen is one of the requirements for the summer challenge. So I'm going to kind of just do this, and I'm doing it in a very doodly kind of fashion, not trying to get absolutely straight lines, and hoping I left enough room in the middle of each to get the double line that I need, and deciding not to worry a whole lot about it. Now, if I'd used one of the pens I had before, I would not be getting lines this smooth. And when I glued these down, I intentionally glued them with a foam dot kind of right smack in the middle so that they wouldn't be kind of solidly attached all over, so that they'd be a little bit loose and wonky, because maybe my fear of triangles, or my dislike of them, is that the idea of getting all the lines straight and aligned, and you know, I tend to eyeball things, and if you're trying to be precise, that can kind of let you down when you got straight angles. It's all of that is much easier when you have organic, kind of curvy, fluid lines, but straight angles, like in a triangle, kind of, and you know, you would think that a math major would have made peace with angles. And so all of this is, I feel like for a kid's layout, and maybe especially for a boy kid, getting too precise or precious, maybe doesn't fit with the chaos that I associate with kids, but it could be just my kids, my kid and my grandkids. So as of tomorrow, we will have all the grandkids back in the house. Katie has been visiting her mom in Kentucky for a couple weeks now, and Ava is with her mom every other week. She came back yesterday for her dad week, and Katie returns tomorrow, and Barrett's here. Of course, everybody except Ava has jobs. Allie's here too. Allie's moved in with us, and now when Katie comes back, we're going to take a trip to IKEA to get all the stuff that we need. I'm going to have her come shopping down here to see if the curtains I have would be worthwhile. We're going to convert the dining room, which is the room you see when you first walk into the house. It's under an arch. We're going to convert that into a bedroom by hanging curtains in the arch, and going to do it in a temporary fashion so it can be converted back if we need to. I'm going to go ahead, since I've started this little fun thing, I'm going to doodle around this just to kind of highlight its shape, because I'm kind of proud of that shape. I like the idea of using the one of the triangles to give the arrow effect. Okay, so I don't know about you, but that just kind of makes them pop. I'm very happy with that. It was worth the time. It's worth my time. I don't know if it was worth yours. I don't know if you think it was worth yours. So I'm gonna put this on some foam. So anyway, I'm looking forward to Katie getting back so that I can go with the girls to IKEA. I haven't been to IKEA, in years, just because of COVID and because it's IKEA and it's kind of in downtown, not downtown, but towards downtown Atlanta, and traffic and driving and all of that. Kind of not as easy as it used to be. Okay, let me kind of get these. This is important to me because I don't want to lose really any of those triangles, but there are plenty of others if I do lose some. And I want to be able to kind of fit that in there and have room for the other. So I need to know where to place it. And I think smack in the middle is probably going to be it, but I have objections to things being smack in the middle. So I'm going to move it slightly over to the right so that the little stem starts right here in that blue. Okay, and again, maybe overthinking it. Okay. When I want to get that like that, and I'm going to maybe overlap that. Okay, and then so I need to put my glue right here. Get that in there. Oh, come now. Okay, there. We do that. And I know that this is going to cover that up, and I hate that because that's the only piece of that that I had. I could kind of do it like that, and a little tiny corner of it would show. And same here, I could do it like that, and a little bit down at the bottom would show. So let me put this over here and see where we end up. And I have to be sure that I leave some room for embellishing. I do like that. I'm just going to do it like this. Well, no, that hangs off the page. I'm overthinking it because I don't need that much of this photo to show. But I want this at the correct angle. Okay. Now, the fun. Let me be sure that I have room for my title, and my title is going to be #star, and I could maybe run it this way and put it on here. This was torn on one edge and cut from the other from one of the cut apart sheets, and I like it because it has the wood grain look, and that gives it you know, kind of a little bit of a masculine look, and it has the fake stitching, so I get the look without the uncontrolled bleeding. Most of you know I take blood thinners because I have AFib, and it's to prevent stroke. So I decided to use this small alphabet, but I would only use it if it had a hashtag, because I wanted title to be #star. Okay. And it's pink, but it's not girly. And these flowers kind of don't look girly. And I'm not a strict adherent to the whole pink is for girl and blue is for boys. I you know, I'm intelligent enough to know that gender is a lot more than traditional gender-related colors, but it's when I'm kind of going for, in general, the conglomeration of these colors, the explosion of color, there's certainly, you know, pink all over in there. I didn't want to get too matchy or kind of overwhelm it with, and I can't get this T right, overwhelm it with with pink. I did try some of my other alphas, and the one that came closest to this pink was this set, and it's just too big. And I looked at and considered this set because it had the hashtags, and it's a nice pink that goes with the color scheme of this kind of a mat, the mat that the baseball diamond is made out of, and the bricks. But it, again, too big. So I went looking for a small alphabet, and I saw this one and thought, okay, I can pull the pinks out of it. And I turned it over. Oh yeah, I forgot. These are all pink on the other side. So I'll put those over there. Okay, so we've got a start here. I have miscellaneous and assorted embellishments that kind of I have no particular place. Since I've got this pairing of the purple with this black and white over here, I thought maybe I'd use this star. And this star was in a group of just little bits and bobs that came from Scrappy Adam with my last shipment. And this star also was in there, and it would be perfect right there, wouldn't it? Okay, it's puffy, and it's a gold fabric, and it's just adorable. And he sent a silver one too. Okay, I've got this, but that's kind of too obvious a reference, maybe. But it's a good place to use it right there. This chipboard is from a piece of a chipboard collection, I guess, that was on the giveaway table at a retreat I went to. Okay. Let's see. I like this arrow was from there too, and it's kind of it's something that could maybe go out here. But let me see where I'm going to put this. That wouldn't be a bad pairing. Okay. This is the thing that says B knocked it out of the park. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Because, of course, you know, he was 5, and this was a little practice thing. And to be honest, I don't know if he hit the ball at all. But he has, in the intervening 11 years, has become quite the athlete. And I'm sure in his mind, if a ball was coming at him, he probably hit it out of the park. Okay. And I'm actually gonna see if I can pop this guy up a little bit on foam, just to give it some dimension. If I put it flat on there, since everything else is popped up, it will look just that. It'll look flat, I think. So there. Even with the black background, you can kind of see that there's dimension. Now, since those days, he has actually lost some interest in baseball. He's a football guy now, but he does love cars. And I kind of, again, with that same chipboard set, I don't want to over embellish. I don't want embellishments all over the rest, so I'd rather concentrate them down in this cluster. So let me I'll just overlay those flowers, and I like this car. He has a bit of a muscle car, and a Camaro, a classic Camaro that I don't know, has all kinds of modifications. It has a flat black finish, which apparently is, you know, a thing, and that's a little bee charm. Let me put the bee maybe on the flower. I'll kind of hold that off to the side. I have this nah, that's too busy. I'm going to reject that idea and put it in the crazy bowl. I think I'm done with that, so I can put this. I also pulled out a bunch of stuff from I have a drawer filled with kind of boy themed things. Ooh, I kind of like the stars on there. Just kind of sprinkling these bright colored stars around because they're in the right colors. And I could maybe, I can do a small one on here. I think that would be cute. So let's do, and again, if I'm going to go ahead. These I will put flat because it would just be too hard to do otherwise. Go here. I'm just going to use them all because all of these colors, and this is from an Echo Park collection, I think. I'm not quite sure. Let me pull the bee out until I decide where that's gonna go. There's, if I can make a triangle of them if I use this right here, and then it overlaps onto the black. I've got this kind of, this teal one, which kind of brings in the color of that. I've got this lime green, which kind of repeats a color that we have in there. So maybe right there. Here's a kind of orangey red that you kind of see in those hearts there. So I'm gonna cluster a few colors. Here's a pretty blue, but I'm gonna put it on this white background so that you can see it. I'm gonna use them all. And there's a polka dotty heart there that I may I may also use. And I may put one there. Here's a little tiny yellow one. I'll put it here. And then maybe I can add some other things. This little tiny orange one, maybe right there. And I've used all except the black ones, so I'm going to pull the black ones out and use them on a light background. Maybe on here. And I'll put them, two of them together. Okay, now what's left on here is this little heart. I don't think it works on that page. Okay, let me put that back in my thing here. I've got another chipboard that says Go Team Go, and I may actually do a use this one. I'm gonna put this in my crazy bowl because I'm gonna put a 3 on top of that Go. I don't need this. There's this which says Zoom. The page isn't about him zooming. I just kind of put the car there as a, you know, something this boy likes. I've got a dinosaur here. It's kind of, I pulled it because it matches with the color scheme. Little Mr. Superstar, we've already got hashtag star there, and we have stars all around, so I'm going to put that away. There is a cute little yellow, it's an epoxy flare piece that I thought maybe I could use in conjunction with one of the bee themed. And it had some smursh, something got stuck to it. It has some smursh there over there by the hashtag number there. So I kind of wanted to cover that up. And I suppose that's maybe where I could put the bee. So I was thinking, let's see. Where do I want to use this? Maybe right, that's hashtag a little too close to that hashtag. So again, I'm overthinking this. Maybe right across here, and the B would go over there where the smursh is. So we'll, if there's smursh there and I can't get it off, now I could if I really tried, I'm sure, then I'll just add more smursh. So that's a little metal bee that Scrappy Adam also sent me. There's this thing that says Boys Rule, but I already have a Boys Rule. There's this thing that says Fun, but I don't think we need any more words. I kind of like this, this guy right here, but you know what? I'm gonna put it back because I think I've got enough stuff there. I want to be sure and add in a at least one of the bee flares and maybe a couple, and I can see one spot. This yellow is kind of, it kind of works. I'm drawn to it anyway. Let's see, I'm gonna lay them all out and see what I like the best. I kind of like this little guy, and I was thinking maybe right there for him, and he's kind of facing upright. So let me pull this, and that kind of still concentrates. I'm thinking there's room for something under there. I'm gonna kind of move the star around a bit so that the little bee's face shows. Let me get, I just pushed him under so his face doesn't show. There we go. And, oops, what happened? That was one of the pieces I didn't use. Let's see, the theme of this one is be kind. Look at that, how cute. There are little bees there, but I kind of want a more distinctive bee look. So let me pull, ooh, how about if we get this black? This is a bowl of bees and ladybugs, known in the UK as ladybirds. But though I am an honorary Brit sometimes, I say ladybug because forever and ever and ever we've been calling Katie Bug, and calling her Katie Bird doesn't sound right. Okay, so it would have been nice to have thought about this. So I have this, and let me pull some of the Bramble Fox stars. What did I do with those? And I had something on the reason that I was okay with putting those flat is because I knew that I had the Bramble Fox stars. I want to put this guy at an angle, kind of corresponding to the angle. There they are. Okay, this 100% boy I wanted to put on here. And then the rest of that can go away. Oh, great. So I've got stuff here. And I actually think I can, there is one of these that I can use right in there. And I think I see it. The teal ones aren't exactly the right teal. They're a little brighter than this. But I was thinking this kind of gives you that beehive sort of feel, right? And I'm doing like 5 things at once and sticking things to my fingers. And okay, so where does the 100% boy go? Maybe kind of right here, bridging the bee, and or maybe down here and like that. There we go. Okay, so then it's not kind of so closely associated with that guy. Okay, and I think we're almost done. There, and what I'm gonna do here is put a black Bramble Fox star on there. I've got a black one, and I want to go with a couple of yellow ones. And I'll put those back. I'll put these. These are from the June release, this Be Kind set, and they're just adorable. And I use these colors a lot, and I think Bee's gonna love. He was kind of, you know, tried to be nonchalant when I told him that Adam had made up a set of bees kind of for my personal set, which are different bees from this set, and they will be. You've seen me use a couple of them, and that was kind of a sneak peek at something that will be released with the July release. And the July release date is July 30th. So I'm going to put one of these yellow ones right here. So you've got one that's raised up on here, one that's flat, and then you've got one that already came with its own dimension, this acrylic piece. And the black stars in this kind of Disney-related set are matte. And, of course, the flares are shiny, so it's gonna be a nice contrast there. Kind of keep it at that angle. And then I'm gonna put one over here somewhere, and then I might go do some doodled on splattery looking dots. Okay. Let's do it. I need a few dots here and a few dots here. And I'm doing this near the stars because it kind of maybe looks like constellations in the sky. Not sure if that makes any sense, but and that looks like a dipper, smaller large dipper. And those are in too much of a line. Okay, so there. And here's the word star, so I'm going to put some down in here. Okay, I'm done. I have a little tiny bit of journaling there. And I can put right here 2010. And I can do my overlapping hearts. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of my own touch there. So there's my version of these two layouts. I'll bring these up close. I love them all. I especially love the little lizard or gecko that's climbing up there. So here's my version. I kind of covered up a lot of the lower triangles, diamonds, whatever, and but I'm okay with that. The colors are all compatible because most of the embellishments are from the same collection anyway. So color study and baseball. So I'm thinking it's a match made in heaven. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for Scrap Squad Sunday. Bye.